You know, drones, I'm fascinated by drones. They've been around for a few years now. Beautiful shots and places. You get to see stuff you've never seen before because we couldn't get airplanes or cameras in there. But now we can. Very popular, but they can be dangerous.
So you're looking at a video, it's a live video that's happening above us. This is by a drone manned by our photojournalist Jared Vall and one of our reporters, Hank Flynn. But recently, drones left incoming flights grounded at Newark Liberty International Airport after two pilots reported seeing them flying in the nearby airspace. Authorities say the drones were spotted around 3,500 feet from Teterboro Airport in Bergen County. As you might imagine, departing flights were delayed.
For a long time. What are the problems do these drones bring to us? Well, aviation attorney, a man who knows how to fly a drone very well, licensed pilot, is John Gagliano. Hey, John, good to see you.
Good to see you, Mike.
Thanks for bringing your drone in. We're going to talk about your drone in just a second here. But a reminder, our drone operators are on our roof. Now, we're on they've got about 5 floors up at 4th and Market. So that's the shot you're going to be seeing. They had to be trained. They're certified pilots now. It's not easy to do. There's Jared, who's looking into the viewfinder, and Hank Flynn has the controls, as you can see in his hand, looking up at the drone. How high will they go?
Well, they're only supposed to go to 400 feet if you follow the rules.
It's probably about where we are.
Right. And you've also got to get clearance when you're near an airport, near a heliport. There's a couple of heliports near us down on the Delaware River. You can probably see one at down on the Delaware River near the Coast Guard station. Don't forget on top of Jeff, they bring in medical flights. So there's a lot of danger in the city if you don't follow the rules. That's why you need a license, like everyone on the roof has.
But then there's the problem of the folks who don't follow the rules, like we saw with the airport, and you mentioned you shouldn't be flying them near airports, because what is the concern of what would happen if a drone and a plane ended up colliding?
It's really bad, very dangerous, potentially fatal. If a drone gets ingested into an engine, the engine's going to stop.
We've done tests, well, people have done tests on it. Here's a slow motion view of a drone about the size of the one in front of us here, hitting the wing. It can do that kind of damage.
It can. This drone weighs about 3 pounds. A brick weighs about 3 pounds. You wouldn't want to throw a brick into a plane that's moving 200 miles an hour.
What can we do about it?
Well, you can follow the rules. That's the most important thing. If you're using a drone, you've got to know the rules and follow them. If you're using it for commercial purposes, you've got to get a license.
But is there a way to catch people? Like when we do these stories, oh, someone was flying a drone, is there a way to find out, okay, was this person, we can get them to kind of show, as an example, you can't be doing this?
These drones can only be flown in what's called line of sight. That means you've got to be able to see it to control it. So if you see a drone, the person controlling it's got to be within sight of it.
So right now, Hank is on the up there, so he's looking at it. It's in line of sight. He can't fly it over into Camden or something where he can't see it anymore, right?
He shouldn't be able to.
But he is physically able to do that. So how hard are they to fly? Jared, you're up there controlling it right now. You've been trained. How hard is it?
Well, what I'm actually doing, just to be clear, I'm controlling the camera right now. Hank is actually controlling the flight, but I do fly as well, and I can tell you, you know, a lot of the technology on board makes it somewhat easy to fly. I mean, it's self-stabilizing, and it's a remarkable piece of technology, but if some of those systems go haywire, you have to know how to set this down manually, and it's influenced by the wind and everything else around it. And, you know, you have to be aware of your surroundings.
I didn't think about that.
Oh, yeah.
And I don't think a lot of people realize, because it sounded like to us anyway, that you guys went through a pretty extensive training process. How many hours did you spend just learning how to fly this drone?
I spent a whole week in Atlanta where we flew for 6-7 hours a day throughout that whole week.
And I think that's concerning because some people just get the drone and they just say, hey, I'm going to figure this out on my own, and they don't do all the proper training and learn all the rules.
It's a really bad idea. It's a really bad idea. You've got to know the rules. You're going to put people's lives in danger, and you risk going to jail for a long time because you're violating federal aviation regulations.
If I want to fly one, where do I go? I mean, who do I get a license from?
FAA.gov. Right? The FAA controls all of the airspace and they regulate it.
John, thank you.
And maybe Jared made a good point. Maybe they don't account for the wind, and then it gets out of control. If you're not properly trained, you don't know how to land it.
It's not as easy as a video game on the couch, that's for sure.